Welcome to the VOR Watchman Report, reporting the news as it happens, discussing controversial issues that affect you, others, and the future, dedicated to finding strategies and answers in the world gone mad. And now, here is the VOR Watchman Report. Isaac Gabriel with you on our brand new newscast. This is a brand new segment of the VOR Radio Network. We have the Voice of Revival, we have La Voz de Avivamiento, our Spanish branch, and now we have launched the VOR Watchman Report. What do? We're here to report headline news, things that are happening, even things that will happen before they happen, and also give you solutions and what we can do in a world gone mad. We are not just about information. You know, information is to know about something. Revelation is to have an experience with it, to do something with it. We've gotten to a point to where we just share facts. We just share information. But what is the solution? I don't believe that they want to come to a solution. What they want to do is come to a place that we continue to keep depending on them for the next move, for the next phase. It's like when everyone jumps on a story. One network will jump on the story and then everybody else follows. There's nothing new. It's all about one point of view. It's very biased. It's called propaganda, to sway you to move to their side. Opinion becomes greater than truth. The truth is in the eye of the beholder. It's whatever's relevant, whatever is moving to create this juicy story. Can I tell you a fact here? Can I tell you some truth? You know, that's the whole point. We're here. We're not going to hold back. We're not going to. This is an uncensored program. We know that there'll probably be censorship on this program because we're going to get into some details that most really are not diving into. We don't really look into the facts. We don't look into the origins of things. So we accept it at point value. We accept it at a point value that what we hear, we believe. What we see, we believe. This is not just about prophecy. This is not just about giving you some facts and telling you about some breaking news. No, this is about getting to solutions about current events, issues, cultural, controversial things that most churches or most preachers and most people do not want to talk about because they will be censored. They will be persecuted for what they say, because we're living in a time where there is very little freedom of speech. There is very little liberty. And more, everything is swinging to the left. Everything is swinging more to a side to where there's more tolerance. The truth is censored. Truth is being blurred. Truth is almost like it's non-existent. It's not non-relevant to today. So let's have our discussion today. Let's just go for it. How can you describe the VOR Watchman Report? It's really hard to describe. All I can say is that we're not going to hold back. We're going to give you instructions of what to do. What really got this started? What really got the ball rolling for the VOR Watchman Report? I was so frustrated and so confused in this chaotic world of news where it's no longer is journalism about trying to see both sides. Journalism is more about getting a big juicy story and exposing the other side. I'm going to be jumping into what I call exposing the political spirit. Another program I'm going to be doing is doing what is just and right, exposing corruption in government. We're going to also get into what I call propaganda and war, how propaganda is used and is a tool, a psychological mental tool that is used to turn people against one another. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about cyber attacks. We're going to talk about that the new war that is coming, that the new war that we're going to see in the next future. How far from now is not far from now. We're already seeing it. We've already seen where the news have talked about cyber attacks. We're going to talk about how electropulsive waves have been created through artificial intelligence. We're coming into a new type of warfare. where they won't have to leave their country, where they won't have to send troops. All they have to do is push buttons. All they have to do is send drones. We're watching it. We're seeing it all over headlines where they're not sending troops no more. They're doing it through AI. You know, AI is going to be the way that the world is going to go to war. We're also going to bring you the facts. I'm going to tell you about how to prepare for what is coming. It's called the End Time Preppers. To prepare, not only common sense, we got to have common sense of what is coming ahead of us. Is there really a digital currency coming? Are we on the brink of a world order? Is there a push for globalists to change democracy, to change countries that are truly free? Is there to bring us into enslavement? What is the whole purpose of the crisis that we're facing? You thought that COVID-19, it was just a dress rehearsal. They're planning something else. And this is no conspiracy theory, because everything is all about power. The seduction of power, the seduction of when you are corrupted, you want everything from the top. I was having a conversation with an attorney that's been involved as a defense lawyer, and also one whose work as in the district attorney's department and involved in many types of government tasks and things of that matter. And he told me something that really jolted me. He says, sometimes we look in general at everyone being corrupt. But the reality, there is good policemen. There are good politicians. There are good people in government and education and all these different things. He said, it's always the 1 to 3% that corrupt things. It's usually the ones at top, the ones that know to do the right thing, but to cut corners and to save money and to put money in their pockets, they don't do what is right. So we can't generalize and say all the policemen are corrupt. He says, because there's some good policemen out there. But what happens is corruption sets in, the seduction for power. And another thing is called nepotism. Nepotism is favoritism. It's almost like if this person is in a position of power, then they'll get their friends, their families, people that they know, and they'll give them jobs. Unfortunately, most of the jobs that they give them are not done well. And that's why there are so many city councils, so many projects that have been done that are on standstill. Why? Because they cut corners. Think about, like, if you go to different countries and you see, where are the paved roads? Where are the things that they were giving money to? No, what they did, they pocketed the money and the people have to suffer for it. Somebody corrupt decided to keep the money with bribes, embezzlements, and things like that. And now the people have no pavement. There's no road. They were given the money to do it, but that corporation, that company decided they're going to cut corners, and we're seeing it more and more and more. And what happens? Because corruption came in, it begins to affect the population. I'm here to have a conversation with you. I'm here to talk about global issues. I'm here to speak my heart, and I'm also going to tell you, I'm not going to hold back from what I believe. I'm not going to hold back and tell you that I'm just here to talk. I'm here to lead you to a decision. I'm here to tell you that we're coming into a convergence where things are coming together. There is mass confusion, and we need to have clarity of where we're moving and where we're going in the days that we see it in front of us. And the days that lie ahead, we're going to have to know how to navigate, how to prepare. Very few programs, especially within Christian circles, especially within religious circles, always are talking about prophecies and world events. But you know what? They never tell you the facts and solutions of what we can do practically to take action. And that's what the VOR purpose is. I'm not just going to give you the facts. I'm not just going to give you the problems. I'm going to give you a solution. And we're also going to give you instructions of what we can do. What was to happen if a great crisis hits our cities? What if something completely shuts down our grid? What if there's no longer cell phone receptions? What if there's a power outage that affects all the systems, because almost everything is connected to technology, is connected to the internet? What if all of that goes off? And what if all that goes off the grid for a little bit? How will you survive? What if there's a crisis in food? These are things that we need to take into consideration. No, this is not some apocalyptic movie. This is the real world that we're living in. And there are evil forces out there that don't care, that will manipulate and do whatever it takes to keep control. It's about power. It's a lust. It's greed. It's trying to stay on top and stepping on everybody else in the process of getting there. We see this greatly in the political world. The reality is people fight tooth and nail over politics. The next program I'm going to be sharing is called Exposing the Political Spirit. Exposing politics and what its true purpose is all about. You know that we're in a political season because people become angry. They rage against one another, because the whole purpose of politics is to make the other party or to make the other side the enemy. And you're constantly bickering and fighting over that person. He's the enemy. They're the enemy. We are the right ones. We pit against one another. We create this civil war against one another. And the reality is that's not what we need. We need a change. We need a moral awakening. We need a great move of revival. And revival is not just for church. An awakening needs to happen. It's a moral change. We think that we put our hopes in government, education, science, technology. We put our hopes in everything else but in God. We say, God, you can be a part of our world, but don't get in our politics. Don't get in our technology. Don't get in our education boards. And we wonder why our nation is completely collapsing. It's because we booted God out of everything. God is not against politics. He's not against all these other areas. He created man for the purpose of these things. In fact, throughout the Bible, there is much on politics, but it's politics God's way, not man's way. Man wants to create policies that will benefit them. It doesn't benefit the people. It benefits the ones who are in power. The word minister is not just for preachers. It's not just for clergymen. The word ministers means a servant of the civil government. He is a servant of the people. He's not to lord over the people. He is a servant of the people. We're going to go deep in this discussion on the political thing and then we're going to get into another one called doing what is just and is what is right. We're going to talk about what is true justice, not just the social justice that is the smokescreen for socialism. I'm going to talk about socialism, Marxism. You're going to get educated here. You're not just going to hear a show that's just going to blab all throughout the whole 30 minutes or an hour just about their side, whether they're the left, on the right, what their political affiliation is, what is their take on policies, and enough is enough. We haven't had any solutions out of all of that talk. When news radio came about, it just created a place where people could listen to sports, could listen to news commentary, could listen to their political views, and very little is about eschatology, very little is about preparing for the end times. And this is why the Watchman Report was established, and that is why we're on the air right now. And there is a purpose, there is an intention, there is a move, because this is going to be one of the most important, one of the most vital, one of the most needed programs of our times. Why do you say that? Because journalism, you can turn on your radio, you can turn on your television, your internet, and you are bombarded by news. But everyone is saying the same thing. We're all about getting the word of information out. But have you ever noticed something? Very few give a solution of what to do. Very few tell you a plan of action. All they do is talk to get their point of view. The whole purpose was for you to get both sides and for you to make a decision. Now it's only see our side and be converted, or we're going to use propaganda as a tool to sway your opinion to this side. And we're going to do it through the internet. We're going to do it through social media. We're going to do it through all the networks, because true journalists, they were bought out. They were told you can't report the truth anymore. So what did they do? They shut it all down. They bought all the news companies. They bought all the paper companies, and they started what? Feeding us entertainment. They started feeding us junk through social media feeds to keep us hooked, to keep us from just wasting our time seeing what's the latest happening. Oh, what's the latest feed? What's the latest news? And what we've done is create a people who are not productive anymore, who are addicted to social media, who are addicted to the internet. I'm coming into a landing right here, because this was just the introduction to the VOR Watchman Report. I'm just sharing candidly the purpose of this program and why it is needed. I'm not here to confuse you. I'm going to share with you what I believe. Not only what I believe, I have an assignment. I have an assignment as a watchman. A watchman is someone that God places in a time of uncertainty, in a time of chaos, to help us to discern and to navigate through this confusion, to navigate and find our way. Many people are lost because we're following after so many voices that are leading you astray. And because we don't want to do our own due diligence and do our own research and check it out for ourselves, we accept it as truth. And many are perishing because they have accepted this ideology. Let's be frank here. Let's be truthful. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's stop going around the mountain. Let's quit this fight and this debate over petty things. And let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to the truth. Let's get down to the origins. You see, in order to understand something, you have to get to the root. And that's where we're going. We're going to the root of things so that we can find the solutions, so we can find the answers that we need, so that we can turn the tide around. We are in a fight for freedom. We're in a fight for justice. We're in a fight for our democracy. When we talk about democracy, people have no a clue of what a true democracy is. No one has a clue of what a true republic is. We think it's all in politics and governments. And what we have done, we've if we're not careful, we'll put the state and the government over God. The state will become God. The government will become our solution, like a savior. But can I tell you this? I don't care how great your politics are, or how great your policies are, or how good your education boards are, or how great we can turn in Washington, D.C. None of those can turn the situation that we're in around, because it's not a human problem. It is a spiritual problem. And maybe you might shut out this program because you don't want to hear about God. You don't want to hear about any of that. But I'm telling you, without him, your nation, my nation, the nations of the world are doomed. And we have to get to the fact of the truth that without God, without Christ, without a change, without us conforming to the authority of the kingdom of God, we will not survive. And I'm here to lead you in the right direction. That is the purpose of this VOR Watchman Report. I'm going to end it right here because we have to move on so that we can go on to our next episode. The next episode, I'm going to be bringing you something on the political spirit exposed, the political agenda exposed. Some of the programs that we're going to dive into is how to expose corruption and bring truth and justice in our systems. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence, the rise of the digital gods. Technology is great, but when technology is put in the wrong hands, in the hands of the elite, it can cause great destruction. And that is what that program is going to be about. We're going to talk about the end time preppers. We're going to give you solutions of how to prepare in case of say for instance, there's disaster. Say for instance, there is a storm on the horizon. How do you prepare for it? What do you need to ride out the storm? What do you need so that you are not taken unaware? That is the purpose of the end time preppers. There are other things that will be discussed here, but that is just the beginning. And get the word out. The way that you can contact us is at the VOR Watchman at gmail.com. Find us on our website, thevor.net. Thevor.net. We will have our podcast, we'll have our video programs, and we'll have our blogs and articles all connected to the VOR.net. The VOR.net brings you prophecy, revival, news, and solutions. That's what we're all about. To find out more, help us get the word out by going to the VOR.net. We'll come back again with a new episode on the VOR Watchman Report, reporting the news as it happens, bringing you solutions in a world gone mad. Until next time, this is Isaac Gutierrez. God bless you. Bye-bye.